Welcome to Bible Bedtime Children. The Bible Story of Gideon. The people of Israel won many battles after leaving Egypt. After their leader Moses and Joshua died, they forgot about God's laws and began to worship other gods. This did not please God, so he let their enemies, the Midianites, take control of them. The Midianites would destroy their crops every time they planted food. This happened for 7 years until the Israelites could not take it anymore and cried out to God for help. God heard their cries and decided to choose a man named Gideon to save them. One day, God sent an angel to Gideon while he was hiding to separate wheat in a winepress. The angel appeared to Gideon and said, "God is with you, you mighty warrior." Gideon was confused. He answered, "If God is with us, why has all this happened to us? And where are all his miracles our fathers told us about? Didn't he bring us out of Egypt? Now he has forgotten us." The angel responded, "Go in this might. You shall save Israel." Gideon didn't see how he could do it. He felt he was from a poor family and the weakest of them all. God knew how Gideon felt and said to him, "I will be with you, and you shall defeat the Midianites." He told Gideon to first go and destroy the altars of the false god Baal. Gideon was afraid, so he went at night when no one would see him. The next day, the people found out what Gideon did. So Gideon became afraid again. Gideon still didn't believe God chose him. So he decided to ask God for 2 signs. In the first sign, Gideon put a wool fleece on the ground at night. If the wool fleece was wet in the morning and the ground dry, then he would believe God chose him. The next morning, Gideon squeezed the fleece, and it was wet, with a bowl full of water, and the ground was dry. In the second sign, Gideon put wool fleece again on the ground at night. If this time the ground was wet and the wool fleece was dry, then he would finally believe God. The next morning, the ground was now wet and the fleece was dry. Gideon was amazed and finally believed God. God now wanted Gideon to choose men for battle. However, Gideon had too many men with him. God told Gideon to not take anyone that was afraid. Half of the men were afraid and returned home. So now there were 10,000 people left. there were still too many people. So God told Gideon to take the rest of the men down to the water so he could test them. Gideon brought the men down by the water to drink. If the men drank water with their face on their knees, they would have to return home. If they drank water using their hands while still looking up, they would be chosen. 300 men drank water using their hands. They were now ready. When Gideon reached Midian, he saw thousands of Midianites, but he only had 300 men. How could God use 300 men in such a big battle? He then heard a man telling his friend about a dream. In the dream, the man saw a loaf of bread come into the camp and destroy the tents. His friend listened and said, "That is not a loaf of bread. That's Gideon, who will win the battle against Midian." When Gideon heard this, he thanked God and told the Israelites the good news. God had given them the victory. He gave the men trumpets and pitchers with torches. He told them, "When I blow the trumpet, you also blow your trumpets and say, 'The sword of the Lord and of Gideon.'" They entered the camp and did just what Gideon told them. They blew their trumpets and broke their pitchers while shouting, "The sword of the Lord and of Gideon!" The Midianites were caught by surprise, and Gideon and the 300 men won the battle against them. God used Gideon and his little army of 300 men to win this big battle and capture the princes and kings of Midian. God kept his promise to save and bless Israel. The Bible story of Gideon. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.